Willie had kind of gotten into his groove, and he didn't intend this at all, but it turned out it was very easy to show up how sort of impaired and not good at his job W was. And you've you notice that it seems like you being there has not only did you notice that, but that you being there actually has drawn attention to Lee about how bad W was. And yeah. And now Lee is, berating W all the time, and he's been pretty nasty about it, and is like doing it in front of Willie and kind of saying like, and what what will happen is Lee is going to come to Willie. He's going to and say, usually, I don't, and he's like, I'll be honest, I didn't know what to make of you. My sister vouched for you, but I like to make up my own mind. But, and you must have noticed this, but W isn't, he's stuck in the past. The only reason, Zag keeps him around is because of how far back they go. But, you managed to do in a couple of days what Willie or what W was struggling with for the last month. And so I'd like to have you work on another piece of the project as well.
I am very good. Let me role play this a sec here.
And
surely sorry, that sounds great.
Yeah.
Tell you what, I'm going to set up some stuff for W to do that's just right for him.
I love
I don't
Willie.
want. Yeah, he's like, okay.
I hate to put it this way, but the only reason he's being a good guy is that it's the only way to survive right now.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah. And he likes he kind of likes that. It's like, good. That's a good idea. I've been under pressure, and I've probably been taking that on him. But that's a good idea. Let's. He's like he's grudgingly he likes Willie's idea. He likes that. He thinks that's nice.
Yeah. So I'm going to push things a little bit as we go ahead.
And he will say though, like, I don't want to go right out and tell him that you're in charge, but between you and me, it's obvious that you should be taking over this.
I kind of do the, don't really plan on being in charge of anything. Wasn't really planning on that kind of gesture. And I say, okay. This dude kind of scares the crap out of me. He's got he's got his camo pants and shit like that, or something like that.
Still right? Dressed as if like you guys are going to have to play paintball or something.
Right? Yeah. Seriously. I mean, I hate people like this. Actually.
Yeah. And you can tell, and I think Willie can tell, like he would rather. Like it's a grudging respect. It's an honest, like he honestly means it. Like he thinks Willie can do a good job, he'd rather it not be Willie, right? That's.
Well, yeah. Well, yeah. I'm with you on this, and so, so, sure. Especially if there's some means by which we could be, let's get a better idea of where we are when we're talking like this.
Oh, yeah.
Where are we?
Oh, sorry. So let's say it's just in that room with the computers and the
Right,
thing.
right,
We'll go back to that set. And but W is off doing something else.
right.
Lee has had him go do some like menial labor,
Hmm,
like take out the trash.
right. Well, I'm going to say, well, look, let me do that. I'm just going to take a little bit of arranging, some papers, setting up a doable job. Um, can I talk to you in a little while then about what other projects you're talking about? Um,
Yeah, no,
so
and yeah, he says, yeah, that's
maybe
good.
maybe
You set
grab
it
a
up.
beer or something, or a. I mean, I'm talking about the kitchen,
Yeah,
right?
no,
I'm not talking about
yeah,
like going out.
yeah.
I'm talking about
No, I
just
know what you mean.
grab a
Yeah, Lee goes to me. He, yeah, he's sort of like, okay, like he
just
agrees to that, but
okay. So yeah,
yeah,
so I'll do this, but the idea is I want to kind of be off in the kitchen area, maybe not a beer, maybe I just said that, maybe grab whatever they've got in there. And so I want to say, Lee, thanks for the opportunity.
Lee
Um,
will have a beer.
oh, I will. Okay, interesting. So not like a
Eh,
hyper health nut kind of guy. I see.
No,
Okay.
and he'll get one for you too,
Okay. Right.
since you mentioned it.
Yeah, I'll kind of sip it with both hands, kind of sip, and say, so I don't want to get you know I'm not interested in like sensitive information, but I do need to know what a project is for,
Yeah.
just to do it, right?
Oh yeah.
To do it. I'm not so. I guess it's kind of, what do they call it? A need to know.
Nice.
You know.
He, he, he's like, he's like, right, here's here's what you need. So here's what you need to know, Willie. Um, that I know I know that you I don't know the details of what got you this job, but my sister said that you were willing to put yourself on the line for Zag, and that's all that matters to me. Um, I believe in Zag, and he's he's been trying to you know he's been trying to help this country long before he decided to run for mayor. That's just one of the things he's been doing. And some
Nut
of the stuff,
bar.
yeah. And he says some of the stuff he's doing, I'll admit, it's just for it's just to keep things going. It's just to bring in some income. But this project is has national security implications.
So you I don't mean to introduce confusion by using the same word, but you're kind of in charge of the security of that then.
Yeah.
Right. Oh,
That's
that's
you
you.
know
Okay. And I'm gonna kind of try and nod like, oh, well, it would make sense that a guy like you would now
yeah
I know what you do around here. They need security, and that's clearly you,
yeah.
right? I'm not that good a schmoozer, but I'm kind of like hiding behind my beer and trying to, trying to, and so
And he's like full of himself
I hear
enough
that,
that
right?
like you
That's what he
don't need to
wants to
be a
hear.
good schmoozer
That's what I'm thinking.
to
Yeah,
sort of
that's the kind of
play into
shit this
his.
guy wants to hear. Oh, yes, I
Yeah.
am the security dude. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so all right then.
So he'll say, but this is easier if I show you this part.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
So he'll take you, and he's gonna go to that room that you had, one of the rooms that you had searched through
Yeah, I
before.
kind of looked at
And
yeah.
yeah, and he goes to those boxes, which because you did look in them, have all that, like the kind
The
of
militia stuff, yeah.
paramilitary militia stuff. Yep. And he goes through this, and he says that, um, Mr. Zag got this idea based on, the he wants to say racket, but he then hesitates and says the business he was running
Mm-hmm.
with his self-help material, with his self-help literature.
Mm-hmm.
Um, what we figured we could do is, and he gives you the militia magazine. He says, see this?
the
What? And then he's like,
the least likely human on this earth looks at the cover of this magazine.
and he says, what type of person do you think would want something like this?
That's kind of a marketing question. Good at deflecting to the proper department. That's me. But they say that's kind of a marketing question. That's not really my field. Um, it looks, whoever they are, they'll certainly want it.
And he's like dangerous people.
Oh, oh, okay, right. So
And
you're
and
saying
this is
you're
our
saying these are like dangerous people, like in a good way. You'll like manage them or something, because that's kind of scary.
no, he's like, no, so we can protect us from them. We
Oh,
get them on our list, and then we
oh,
share that list with people who can keep an eye on them.
oh. Okay, so what we need to do is compile a useful, uh, uh, a vetted list, right? I
Yeah.
mean, of
We
okay,
want to we want to be able to determine who are the really dangerous people, the ones we got to keep a real eye on, versus the ones, who are just pretending. And he says this with like no, like
no self awareness
no irony
whatsoever.
or
Yeah, I get
self-awareness.
this. Yeah,
Yes. Yeah, yeah.
yeah. Even Willie will like
Yeah.
one kind of glance of such as. Never mind. Okay, so yeah, this is okay. First of all, I can get to work on this, but I am so like I was going to say, you're pretty pretty sharp guy, if you don't mind me saying. Um, so I don't know if I can get away with this. It might even be a role, but it's very much. So how'd you get into this? I mean, how'd you get? I mean, how
That
did Zag get? Find a guy like you? You know,
that is a. I think he. Yeah, let's do a roll, because I think
he's a bit paranoid, I imagine, but
he is very invested in his role.
yeah. Well, I'm kind of validating it as my hope, right? It's like,
Yeah,
oh, how did he get it? So you're
but
you're good at this. How'd Zag
that's
manage to
true.
land you?
That's true. Uh, I
I might even be doing like the schnook thing where I'm like looking at papers while I say this, right?
I think it is a role.
Oh, I get
I think,
that. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So I'll say that it's a two dice, because he is there is that timing and setup.
No, I
And,
hear
you
you.
kind of have led him along a little bit,
Mhm.
but he does want to stick to that like man of mystery role too. So
I
it's
get
tough.
that. Yeah. Um, so I'm going to use my figure things out
Okay.
trait.
Oh, yep, yep.
And so that's just a one, and then I'm going to pool diet for one as well.
Four
And
dice.
yes, and so we shall see what comes of it, as they say in other games. I'll take the die.
He's gonna say, he'll say like, he's like, remember, Willie, need to know, but um uh you know, um, you know, Lena told Zag about me, and she started, you know, uh, she's, she, I don't know if you, I don't know how well you know her, but you know, she's Zag brought her in to help with his campaign when he got into when he was getting into politics, and she told him all about me, and he figured I'd be the perfect guy to, like you said, keep keep everything safe and secure out here and take over this little operation. But it's basically been me and W this whole time. And he's like, I had a ton of great ideas, and he takes out that the literature, like the militia literature. He's like, I had a ton, like these, some of these are my ideas. Like I know exactly how to talk to these guys. You know, and but it was it was Zag's idea. This whole thing was Zag's idea. I'm just executing it.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, I don't want to take credit.
Right.
Like this is
Wow.
Zag's idea. I'm just executing it. He'll say that, and this has to stay between the two of us. But
Sure. I mean, I appreciate this. Um, John, am I getting the idea that Zag is compiling a list for a very different reason than from what Lee is thinking? I mean, is he's seeking dangerous people? He's not like
yes,
vetting them for, to prevent them. I mean, that's ridiculous. Why would you go to all
Yeah,
this
that's
trouble to, I mean,
absurd.
why would you go to all this trouble to make a magazine, you know,
yeah,
and just to compile a list of potential? I mean, yeah, right. Okay, Lee. What I also like is the implication, the real story behind Lee's employment. Lena's useless brother needed
yes.
needed something to do, and so she landed in this. Okay,
That
right.
is the
Yeah.
truth. Yeah,
Mm-hmm,
so
mm-hmm.
you were
No, I'm
saying
I'm
that.
I'm I'm kind of like the one hairy eyeball,
Yeah,
catches that part.
yeah,
All right.
and he says, but then he says, and this definitely has to stay between the two of us.